Oh, kia ora whanau. I'm just sitting here typing up some agreement for I had for contractors with me and contractors, and it's like 6 o'clock at night, and I only just realised that I was meant to be at an appointment at 2 o'clock. It's the second time I missed it. Yesterday was the first time I was supposed to turn up. I had an appointment with this contractor and something happened. Oh, I had a lot of phone calls, so I was like got distracted by people ringing me about jobs. Um, and yeah, I was half an hour late, and he was a bit pissed off with me. I was supposed to meet him today and at 2 o'clock, and now I've only just remembered, so I had to text and apologise because of my memory loss. So I just want to keep putting this out there because my auntie just recently died from dementia. Well, they're saying it's dementia. So I rang the courthouse, the dementia support people here in Marlborough the other day, and I was just asking about it, like what they do and stuff. So I've got to go to the GP soon. I'm booked in for an appointment to have that assessment for that, and to get back on the waiting list to have this microchip removed. So when I spoke to her about the dementia, I just keep posting these videos up under my YouTube videos so that hopefully people will discover them, because they're on YouTube now, which means I'm worldwide. But however many people get to see them or not, I don't know. But I just want to keep talking about these grievances anyway. I know from other YouTube videos that I've watched that there have been thousands of Americans with the same grievances of believing that they were implanted with microchips, but they couldn't prove it. So this is illegal slave trade that had been going on, I do believe that they were microchipping people in the FEMA camps. Possibly. Yeah, they would have been. It's just, oh, man. So, yeah, I'll just keep talking about these injustices because it's gone globally. This memory loss is such a big grievance. When I work out, a lot of financial grievances that they owe me money, eh? I don't know if any other countries have like we've got here with the treaty. I know Native Americans have treaties, but whether they have anything that's similar to Te Tiriti o Waitangi and the fourth article of that, I'm not sure. I don't know. They signed the treaty in 1840. Our Māori Parliament was established in 1808. Yeah. What was I going to say? I'm going for an assessment. What did she say? She said, when I rang the dementia place on like the other day, and I asked her, because I wanted to know more about it, after what Donna Hapakuku told me, I didn't realise that people just like can turn around and smash you in the face for no reason. That's what some people on dementia do. That's what one of the aunties here who's suffering from dementia, we put her in a home. Her kids have put her in a home, in a secured unit because she was just starting to bash people up and stuff for no reason, and stuff like that. Like she'll just come along and just punch somebody in the head. So I was like, oh, really? Is that what it does? So my mate was telling me, and then so I rang the dementia place, asking questions about dementia and what does it do, and because my auntie just died from it not long ago, which is a scary thought. And she told me she wanted to know what makes me think I've got dementia, and I told her, well, I keep forgetting things all the time, and so she. I said, well, what causes it? And she said, there's different things that can cause dementia. It can be the thyroid gland, and straight away I was like, oh, well, because of my memories of being in the camp and having them do something to my neck, that they inserted something in our necks within these camps that we were in this place that was disguised as a Christian camp. I think we do have people who know of it. I do have a witness who was at the camp. He would have been about 19 years old at the time when I was a baby there, but he didn't even want to admit it. He didn't want to remember. It's just something that he wanted to block out. My friend Kenny, who was the security guard at Peter Jackson's estate, back when I was talking in my other videos, how I met Kenny, came into the Christian camp. So I don't know if it was Salvation Army or what other Christian camps they might have had down the west coast. But they've it's always been known for cults and Satanism and devil worship and stuff like that, and human sacrifice too, who's been going on down the west coast for years. So she told me, that with thyroid, and I said to the lady at the call centre, how do you know that people with thyroid problems can have dementia? Like, where'd you get the information? She goes, oh, well, that's just one of the things that happens. One of the causes of dementia can be your thyroid gland. And I'm like, well, I know why. It's because of what they have been putting into us. I'd be quite happy and willing to offer a $50,000 reward to anybody who can come forward with any information about the scientific facts of what they were doing to us kids down there in those times, in those days. Well, we've got people who are aware. My mate was going to, the old fella who, he was going to testify, but his daughter mysteriously died from pneumonia. And I truly believe that it's because these people who are part of organised crime, who are running a paedophile ring of children, pornography, kids and pornography, stuff like that. It's organised crime, definitely. They, oh gosh. They've been getting away with so fucking much. They've been getting away with murder. They've been getting away with forcing people into the sex industry, sex trafficking, kidnapping, just so much. They are still killing people today. If we feel you get the sensation like you just got shot in the back of the head, you're not wrong. Those are our people that they've been swapping over here, right? They're swapping them over with their exact identical twins. And it's not just Māoris that they're doing it too. So some of these white boys that think they're in the clear with this, they better think again, because they're taking out their own people as well. They are not taking any survivors now. They're knocking them off, and it's probably no thanks to me that I've been revealing everything, because they've got to get rid of the evidence. So, I've spent a whole day in the vineyards just recently, and I've spent a whole day feeling those shots to the head a dozen times or more in a day. So that, and well, I've got them following me around at work and stuff. These people that come from these places, these white boys, and they're talking about how they're just killing them off left, right, and centre. This is what they're telling me at work. So, it's true. Our ones who they have been swapping over, abducting them whenever they can. They are killing them, and I believe that they're doing it underground. All the nasty shit, all the killing, all the mutilation, the human sacrifice, whatever, is all happening underground. So, there's no traces, no evidence whatsoever of the murders that are taking place now amongst these people in this organisation, which is Freemasons of white supremacy, Illuminati. It's just a bullshit spin-off of the original triads, is what Illuminati is all about, because that actually was an authority that England overtook, carrying on from the original triads, which was actually the history and the whakapapa of our tupuna. Our tupuna, the emperor of China, the boy emperor who fled his own throne, because those 36 oaths that the triads swear you in when you're sworn in were actually written by holy men. They were set there for people to look after people, and not betray your brothers. No, you don't try and hook up with your brother's missus or his wife, and you look after their families and stuff. And so a lot of them are trying to identify themselves. Some of these white men I've seen calling themselves seniors. One of them we met up on the Tararoas, so the reading that I had about him was he was actually one of the scientists that were cloning, because he brought a whole lot of university students up to the Tararoas, and they were just bullshit, that lot. There's a lot of racism up there. I've never seen any of our Māori people up there. We might have had a one or two half-castes come up, but one guy was a hunter. He was just a bit of a ball-head anyway, one of them plastic Māoris, racist against his own kind. So I just keep making these videos. I had to put that out there because this is like such a grievance. I'm really pissed off I missed that appointment. I don't have too many contractors that I can go to at the moment, like that will take on our trainees, probationaries, but I am hoping that we will get international probationaries through in pastoral care as a part of the justice system. And this is like getting back to what we were trying to establish in 1999, really, is bringing Kohuiro Māori Parliament back up out of recess. And through this way of exposing everything, well, there's a good reason for us to be doing this. Is actually a land prophecy. I've told stories about Prince Harry before and what I discovered in Australia. I'm going to put that up. I'm not saying that it was him, but what I'm saying is that, what, does he have a twin brother or a double? Because the boyfriend that I had in Australia looked exactly like him. But looking at the way, I never really watched too many interviews on the Prince, but I have been of late, and his wife. But, you know, looking at his high-pitched voice and the way he sounds and his body language and everything, it's definitely not the boyfriend. It doesn't sound like, or appear to be the boyfriend. It wasn't the boyfriend that I had in Australia, but, you know, there's something going on with the twin thing. Stephen's like way different. Yeah, what's happening? I don't know, man. But I have told my stories before, so yeah, it's just like some stuff that's going on that's quite freaky. Yeah, quite freaky. But anyhow, I don't know. Maybe he's meant to be our Prince of Egypt. Hey, with everything that's going on, our backup. Well, you know, there has been a prophecy. That is a Mormon prophecy that they would talk about, and we had a Mormon prophecy about a white man. Well, was it Mormon? Or, yes, it is a Mormon prophecy. Well, I was told, anyway, a few years back about a white man that was said to it going to be coming, and there's been prophecies that I've heard from history that I've learned of Taranaki iwi about, you know, a white man who would come, a peacemaker from Taranaki. This is what I learnt when Cheyenne was a baby, when I was living up there in Taranaki. Well, he lived at Pariaka for a while in the house of Taniho, which is the house for Ngāti Porou and East Coast tribes. Taniho, yeah. I was told that, you know, when I was living up there, that there was a prophecy about a peacemaker that was foretold to come from Taranaki, but they didn't know if he was going to be, you know, a male or a female or a blah, blah, blah. You know, I believe that a lot of stories have been sort of twisted around and changed around from the original stories, but, you know, I was guided when I was going through all the spiritual stuff and actually finding our whakapapa to the Emperor, when I got quite ill in 2004, when I had quite a lot of readings, I was led to Wahitapu sites of where our ancestors had been settled at Pa site and stuff around the coast, on Coast Road and that, where they had descendants from the ship of Harota, our Chinese side, the mothership of the Ming Dynasty, and where the women used to take their placentas and bury them round there at Coast Road, which was public back then. They've since put fencing up, which is really good because people shouldn't be walking across that land. It should be Wahitapu. But yeah, I had all these readings about our ancestors and stuff and places that we were settled before the land wars, before Taranaki come down with the Crown of England rampaging through, enforcing te tiriti or waitangi on every tribe in the nation, and that's what actually happened. So this is why the people turned on the 5 chiefs who signed, which was Te Kooti, Te Rauparaha, and I don't know who the other 3 chiefs were, but there was 5 of them that started that off. And after they signed, then that was enough for them to that's why Ngāpuhi got muskets. They were the first tribe to get muskets, and then they sort of like rampaged through the country after that, enforcing the treaty on everybody. So yeah, that's the actual truth about what happens. So yeah. Oh, this memory thing, it's pissing me off because it's like losing me money. It's losing me money. I'm pissed off because I had to apologise to the contractor today about missing that appointment. It was a genuine. Yeah, I've missed a few appointments. I missed a few when I was supposed to get back on the payroll for my job at Care Marlborough as a peer support worker, which is our local mental health place that we've got here for tangata whai ora. But I missed that many appointments because I kept forgetting all the time that she just took me off the list. So yeah, it's a bit of a grievance. When you're losing dollars through not going to be very easy to prove. I'm just going to have to keep talking about it and trying to gather other people who have these grievances with dementia and stuff like that. So, you know, if you have any whānau, if you're Māori and you have any whānau who have been diagnosed with cancer, grab all of those records, get photocopies, get all of those records photocopied and keep them somewhere safe, because that is part of the evidence of, I believe, that a lot of our Māori people who have passed on, whether they want to hear this or not, have been. I'm not saying that everyone was cloned, but we were definitely, a lot of us who have been through these places where they were implanting us with this technology. They were running an illegal slave trade. They were kidnapping people from other countries, from Italy, from Spain, Native Americans, Thailand, every country, businessmen, rich businessmen, purchasing these children, bringing them over here, and placing them with whānau who were probably cloned, and brought up in these camps where they had been imprisoned, brainwashed, enslaved, and taking these tamariki in as their own, these kids believing that they had been Māori kids when they weren't actually. I don't know how they were getting away with the identification thing though. I don't know. I've never really looked into that sort of thing. I've got no idea how they do it, but this is one of the things that have been happening with the slave trade. So, yeah, I'll just put that out there. Keep making these videos, keep letting people know. I hope they're not blocking them from people actually seeing my videos, because this word has to get out. It has to get out. It's a biblical prophecy. It's like, yeah, this is our Māori parliaments. I'm not aware that any other countries, even though like America, have what we have, like with our Treaty of Waitangi and stuff, and our 4th article of the Treaty of Waitangi. I believe that we're a very, very prophetic nation, you know, and from the readings and whakapapa that have come to me that I've learned, New Zealand has always been a nation where people have come to serve out their time and their sentences and stuff for their crimes. So, you know, we're going to take them. Hopefully we're going to get, yeah, even if they try and block us from, you know, and give us some bullshit results of x-rays and MRI scans and stuff, we still have, you know, we can still speak at our grievances in the, what do you call it? Māori oral traditions in court, like a Waitangi. Yeah, we do it the Indigenous way. We do it the 4th article way. I mean, that's why that was meant to have been set up, the 4th article, but it wasn't actually officially an official text. But these people have been practicing it. That's how they've gotten away with running the slave trade. That's how they've been able to clone our people. That's how they've been able to corrupt our tribal affairs and our iwi affairs and all our government affairs and stuff. So, you know, if they can do it, so can we. So that's what I'll be using to it's like indigenous cultures trading amongst themselves. In this Kōhauero video that's on YouTube now, it's not the original video. I had like 4 of them, which was 3.5 hours long, but I'm pretty sure that they have changed that, the location of that sacred mirror triangle, and they've moved it over so it's closer to Australia, which is not where it was. It was closer to America, but they've edited that video, and the flag that's actually up behind Mahinarangi Falls when she's talking about the history of how that flag was being held in the head office of the P&O is not actually the flag that I remember. I don't think it's the same flag that was in the video that I had. But yeah, that flag, the original flag that was gifted by King George IV, was actually in the Te Papa Museum in 2000 in the year 2000, because my kuia, Fiddle Bailey, I posted up a picture of her giving Prince Charles a hongi. It might have been on that day, actually, that we all went to Wellington, because she was receiving a medal at Government House, her and some other kuia. So we all went down there for that, and we went to Te Papa for a look before that day, on the day, and the flag that Mahinarangi was talking about, the original flag, was actually up there, displayed at the time. I took a photo of it because I had an old camera, a disposable camera. On the way down, we had taken photos of Cheyenne. Was it then? Anyway, I got photos of Cheyenne with Dalvanius, but I had like all this information about Kōhauero Māori Parliament, the history, the papers, the whakapapa, in a folder with me in Taranaki when we were living at Wāria, baby and I had my ex-boyfriend with me, Pa Love, and I actually believe he's one of those people who have been swapped over, slave too. He's an enslavement, and I do believe it was him that stole all my information. Everything I had on Kōhauero Māori Parliament they took it, was in a folder. So that's all gone, including the photo that I took of the original flag that had been gifted by King George IV, which gave our people authority to trade anywhere within the sacred mirror triangle of Te Moana Nui a Kiwa around the Pacific. So, yeah. A lot of that history and whakapapa has been lost now. It's been changed around. They've made up bullshit. They've erased. These people have been erasing files, history, whakapapa, yeah, with all the cloning, and it's total corruption. Total corruption. You know, they've been getting away with murder, and what I have been witnessing is that with the swapping over of our people, I don't give a shit who doesn't want to hear this. They need to hear it, because it's the truth about what's been happening, and there's a lot of whānau I've spoken to within Marlborough and Tasman areas that agree. They agree with what I've been talking about. What they've been doing is that they're bringing these people in now, and actually people who I've always believed that were my cousins, because I'm told, this is our cousin, she's a Huntley, she's a blah, 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 blah. They're not actually. They're not even. It's just that because our older ones have been, and this has been going on for a few generations too, right? Right back. So, with them being aware that, okay, we've got this in this family, we had, a family, there's only 4 uncles now, we've exchanged them, we've done the swap, so they have to do, what we tell them, they believe. So when it's like that, they're bringing in, say for example, they'll bring in a cousin somebody who claims to be, I'm Auntie Donna's daughter, blah, blah, blah. They've got all the history and whakapapa, but this is what's happening. It's huge. It's just so huge. It's unbelievable, but it is happening. And it's happening at a pretty fast pace. So, I've been finding That's a lot of our uncles and aunties, who we believed that were our uncles and aunties. They're not actually. They weren't. They never were. It was just, some identification that was given to them when they come out of the camps. So this is what I'm trying to get out there to our whānau. We love them dearly, our good ones, but there's a lot of crooked ones out there who would kill amongst us, and I know exactly who they are. But honestly, no, our whānau need to start talking. We need to start speaking out. They have killed our people in there. And we need to have your testimonies about what they're doing to our people in these camps. And it just sort of brings me to a belief that with all this happening, maybe we have actually already passed the 1,000-year period. What it says in the Bible is that when the 1,000 years have ended, and this is after the prophetic, the one who would say they would talk in the Bible, a descendant of King David would come and shepherd the nations with an iron rod, and he would go out to war against the wild beast with him, him and all his army. But maybe that's already happened 1,000 years ago, that he chained the beast up, bound for 1,000 years, and then after 1,000 years the dragon is let loose for a short time and goes out to deceive the nations. And it just sort of brings me back to the memory of when I was 16 and the news that came up about an asteroid that was heading for Earth, that they said was only 50 years away. I was 16 years old then, so how long ago was that? We don't have a lot of time left, if that's true. It's basically the end of the world. Not that I'm trying to scare everybody, but I'm just trying to say, be good to one another. Live every day like it's your last. There's just so much corruption in the world, it's not funny. I see a lot of it. And I know the good book because I used to read it quite a bit. I was quite a fanatic, actually, on, religious stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that stuff anyway and keep posting about these things. Now, I can't make my videos too long because it just takes forever to upload onto YouTube. But I just needed to tell that story. I'm sitting here trying to write a document of an agreement between our trust and contractors who are willing to take us on, because probation, the bullies, they are a pack of bullies here at this office, and they are fucking everywhere, man. I'm telling you, it's just growing and growing. We have, ever since I've made my complaint about what's going on with the work brokers at Winds, we do have a Māori woman there. She's a McDonald's, so she tells me. I've never actually seen her before. She's just told me that she's but I don't really know the whānau out there. I know that there's a lot of takeover going on. I've been witnessing it. You can feel it. You just know. I've only ever known Uncle Timo out there, really, to be honest, in the Greys. But I've seen a lot of takeover going on with this white supremacy. So just because they're bringing Māoris into different places and different departments of the government, it doesn't mean to say that they're good. Often they're only there to do their job. They're there to serve. If they are slaves and that they're bringing out of enslavement, they're there to serve, and they're there to serve the Pākehā. And often Māori are there, and it makes it seems like they're okay, but when in actual fact they are following the orders of the Pākehā, and they're not actually here to help our people, and they're not allowed to. So this is how they're deceiving us. There's a lot of slavery going on. I usually, even yesterday, when I was at the AA place, and those bally bitches, they've always been like that at that AA place, racism. And so 2 cops came. They wouldn't give me my licence. They reckon I need to have an eye test, which is a load of shit. I've never had this problem before. I've had my birth certificate stolen out of my folder. As I said, everywhere I go, these people have got keys to my homes. They've got keys to my vehicles. I put my fucking van into Trot's Autos, right? And ever since, I've been finding that people have been getting into my fucking vehicle. So, when you can't put your even when I rented a cabin from a well-known place where that do mobile rental cabins. I had my locks changed about 6 to 8 times in the 3 years that I rented from them. There's no other person that could have been. They were coming into my cabin when I went out. They were going through my shit, all my documents, everything while I was working on the charitable trust. They've set me up untold times with assholes, with people who come along that are alcoholic pedophiles, stuff like that, and just, they set people up. So this is what's happening. Our people can't get educated because we are implanted with these microchips that control everything, and this is why everything's online now. Everything is online. It's not the Pākehā who are implanted with these microchip technologies, or rich foreign investors. They're in there too. The Italians, the French people, the Spanish, foreign investors, they're all in on it as well. So, our Māori people can't get educated. There was never going to be a chance for, our whānau who are always in and out of jail, our ones that are always getting, mischief. So, part of my thing for when the health claims come up as a part of the Te Tiriti claims, because at the moment it's the housing inquiry, homelessness inquiry, so when the health section comes up to put in a claim, I'll be putting in a claim that training institutes need to go back to paper assignments, because there's too many Māori who, our people have been murdered. They've been abducting our people, right, and then swapping them over with twins, right. They're murdering our people in imprisonment, and this is a huge, huge crime. It's an uprising of Indigenous nations worldwide. This is what's been happening. That's why all that pounamu over there in British Columbia and other places in South America and stuff, they've got beautiful pounamu, has all been taken over by the Pākehā. They've got one lady who looks like she's got Native American, but she's white. And apparently from all the pounamu they get from down there in British Columbia, they're like paying for a whole town, because they're making millions, right? But that actually belongs to Native America. Where are we going to get all our shit back, hey? Honestly. So these are the grievances that are going on. And I've mentioned before, it's not just Indigenous, it's coloured people. They are doing this to white people as well. And I've mentioned before, I suspect that Peter Yelens has been a victim of this. One of the victims of takeover. How they've been abducting people, rich people, swapping them over with a twin. I mean, just look at it. It's obvious. It's just so obvious. Why would he make such a stupid mistake? He got 2 major fines. I believe that they probably even swapped them over back then. 2 major fines. He's a pretty smart businessman. Filthy rich he was. He wouldn't be so stupid as to make a stupid mistake. They were the stupid ones for not thinking properly, They never suspected that some little nigger was going to come out of the blue and start exposing everybody. But I'm glad I have, because, so he got all these fines, and I think that was just part of the setup leading up to the sale of all of his wine company, Yealand's Wines and stuff. So, where is he? One thing I've been finding with our whānau, who I believe have been swapped over, is that they're often accompanied by a Pākehā or somebody else who is following with them, constantly reminding them by just, they might trigger a memory or trigger something all they have to do is just mention a few words that they don't want to hear about, where they don't want to go back to, which is these places of terror. places of mutilation, places of where they just never ever want to go back to. So, you know, our people need to start talking. Another thing that I believe is happening possibly too, but you might think that, okay, this girl is just out the gate, too far gone, put her in the mental ward, but, you know, I've given the scientific facts to people about what I've been researching into, which makes sense, okay? What I'm talking about, Peter Yealands, makes sense. I don't make up stories and I don't tell lies. So I do believe, and I've been hearing this from certain people who I have come across, and I won't tell you where I met them, but we were talking about robots, right? The technology that's in us, because technically we are cyborgs, we are robots. What the technology that's in us is very highly advanced, so it was sort of like the first steps towards human robots, I guess. And we were talking about, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Judgment Day and the Terminator. Remember Sarah Connor? Okay, Arnold got sent back from the future to protect Sarah's son because he was foretold as being a great world leader. So they had to protect Sarah as well, because other robots were coming back from the future to kill her because they wanted to kill him. And this is exactly what's been happening. I know it sounds pretty hard, but I've been observing not only what goes on amongst ourselves, but I have been observing time travelers as well that sort of pop up now and again. I've been observing, now I'm aware that we have the ability to see holographic images as well, which is very deceptive. So we spoke about the fact that Germans had this technology of human robots, and I have been witnessing them also. I know it sounds hard to believe, but this technology truly does exist. And that's, yeah, and I'm thinking, shit, maybe that's why people always appear to be answering my thoughts, but some of them just look like normal people. You know, like we've got an old Karowa working with us and he's always answering my thoughts, and my ex-boyfriend always used to answer my thoughts, which I found very, very annoying, particularly the day after he'd been drinking. He used to seem to be able to do it more often that way, but yeah, I don't know how it works, but so we were talking about the person informed me that yes, they are working on robots, the Germans, and they're actually training them up in Germany. Okay, so with what I've been witnessing was, you know, like my own kids, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is wrong with this nigger? And it's like my son, he's so disrespectful, so nasty towards me. You know, have they done this to my kids? You know, are they copies? You know, if you don't understand science and technology, man, this journey that I'm on, I'm just lucky that I've been discovering and I've been made aware of science and technology, because anybody else would have either hung themselves or they would have ended up in a mental institute by now. Trust me, I've been very strong, and it gets very scary, this journey of mine, but you know, I'm a tough nut. So I better not ramble on too long. It's been 38 minutes now. It actually takes quite a long time to upload these videos onto YouTube, but I just want to keep sharing with people in the hopes that others will see my videos and you know, start speaking out. Feel free to comment. If you're genuine, that is. I don't want to hear any bullshit comments from negative people who are probably part of this organised crime ring. I encourage people to start speaking out and start sharing your testimonies, make videos, go on Facebook Live, you know, start sharing your experiences, you know, because we've got an uprising of Indigenous cultures here that needs to happen. Our Māori Parliament needs to be re-established. So I had a big argument with the old lady today who's told me to get off the land. Oh, she's not going to keep me from my land, man. I'm going back to Gisborne. I'm going to, like, look up all my legal rights. Now, this is bullshit. I'm pretty sure that she is, like, you know, she's one of those people who have come out of the camp. She's definitely got something to hide about my real father. She's always been a bit of a, a nasty one to me. Whatever happened to her brother Jackie, I believe he's probably my real father, but I have mentioned before that I have been having readings. I keep hearing Ray Harris. I keep hearing my Uncle Jackie underground. I know they had him locked up underground and they were just smashing him in the head all day. I don't know what kind of information they were trying to get out of him, but he wouldn't budge. Yeah, we have African American ancestry to the lands and stuff, I believe. Yeah, a Chinese, but all this whole thing about, which is very devastating for me to learn and others too, I guess, is like the story of the Jose Manuel, which I'm finding has actually been made up. It was made up by the Germans, who have been getting away with what they've been getting away with. So I can tell you now that there's going to be a lot of angry nations with their missiles pointed at Germany. They're going to be the first ones on our hit list, right, for what they've done to the nations. I can tell you that now. Yeah. The other thing is that a lot of people, angry nations, angry with America, but it all comes back to Germany, where it started from, right? That organised crime ring. I mean, this was the vision that Hitler had. This is what the vision that Nazis had, was to take over the world. And when World War II ended, they never ended. That vision never ended, and they continued on, right? So it's been happening, and it's been going undetected. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for now. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with these documents. I think I've just lost myself a contractor through forgetting our appointment today. If I'm going to do something, it has to be straight away. I told him that. I texted him and I apologised that this is the second time I've missed my appointment. But I said, just ring me when you're ready and I'll come straight away. Because if I had to try and remember, I can't keep a diary anymore. I can't write things in a diary because I forget to check my diary. That's how pissed off I am about everything. I actually need to. I was thinking about trying to see if I can get a personal assistant out of jail. Someone who's on a long sentence that might have like parole coming up. I'll look into that, but I need, a personal assistant, but really, someone who knows how to use computers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I prefer a male that knows how to do computers and stuff and type up documents and stuff like that. So I'll look into that, and someone with a full license, because I'm going to eventually need somebody to drive me around with a full license. So yeah, that's my thing. I have a personal assistant with me wherever I go, sober driver, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's me for now. I'll stop rambling on and I'll carry on with my stuff. All right. I'll see you later and have a good night. Bye-bye.